Page 31, For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Another very well-known piece. It's usually a party song. People are having fun. Well, let's look it over. It's 4 lines long, no repeats or anything. You go straight through. Treble and bass clef, 3/4 time, and it has a pickup beat, so we're coming in on beat 3. So the first 2 beats are somewhere else. Looks like they're at the bottom. The last measure is a half note, 2 counts. The melody, it looks like, is in the left hand, and if you look at the end of the 3rd line, we get a fermata, so we got to deal with that. Otherwise, it's quarter notes, half notes, dotted half notes. Think we can deal with that. There are no whole notes because you can't have whole notes in 3/4 time, because a whole note would get 4 counts, and that's not legal. You can only have 3 counts in a measure. So the dotted half note's the biggest we can have here. Let's just check first the hands, make sure the hand independently are working okay. So the right hand, you're here, so it's on the measure where you're playing. On the right hand, it's 1, 2, 3, and then they'll measure rest, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. At the end, the last 2 measures, the D is tied. See the tie? You're going to hold it down. So at the end, when you play the G, they're both down. It's called finger pedaling the note. Yeah. Left hand. Well, left hand's got the melody starting here. That puts you here. So it's 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Get the idea? Let's go down to the 3rd line, the last 2 measures. It's a C, and then a G and a C together. The fermata, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Just 2 beats now. 1, 2, rest. Last line, 2nd measure. 1, 2, 3. And that G is tied all the way to the end. And the B, when you play it, that's tied all the way. So you just hold them down. Again, we're finger pedaling the notes. Put the hands together. We're here, middle C position. 1, 2. Make sure that hold that down when you play that. So we got 3 notes down at the same time here. Again, 1, 2. But lift up here when you play the 3rd beat. So it's 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. See, this is a little tricky because you're lifting up in the hands at different times, and it's important that you do it accurately. The last line again, the last 2 measures. You're finger pedaling the notes. So 1, 2, 3, 1. So at the end, the last measure, all 4 notes are down. And I say finger pedaling is because we finger pedal things in piano when we want the note to last longer, and for one reason or another, we can't use the pedal to help us. Here, they have pedal optional. I would prefer not to use pedal here. We don't need it, because the pedal does more than just sustain the note. It changes the tone because it adds all the overtones and things. I don't want to add overtones at the end when I haven't done it before. It's been very dry and clean. I'm going to keep it that way. So we finger pedal the notes. So we do the job with the fingers that the pedal would do in sustaining the note. And that's all that's doing it. There's a lot of times in interpreting music where we will finger pedal some notes as part of the interpretation. So we'll hold the note down longer than the music says to because we want it to sound longer. Anyway, once we get the notes and the rhythms down, no hesitations anywhere, then we'll think about the articulation and this fermata, the phrasing. Lift up between the phrases, and the right hand you just play the quarter notes. It's not two, but in the 3rd line with the fermata, the last 2 measures. A fermata you just hold out as long as you feel, you hold it. There's no set time when you hold it, it just feels right. If I play it with a metronome, I'll just double the value because I got to stay with the metronome. So I'll just hold it for 4 counts instead of 2 and then go on. But when you're just doing it, you hold it out until it feels right, and then you go on, and it's a new phrase to lift up. Yeah. And that's sort of the fermata. Then the dynamics. Well, this is a party piece. It's fairly loud. So you keep it loud. There's a crescendo in the third line, but at the end of the second line, they tell you to come down. And even if they didn't tell you to come down, I would tell you to come down. Because a lot of times when you get a crescendo like this, you're not going to keep building up. You just kind of come down and go up, and come down and go up, and come. It depends on the music and what it needs. Here, they're telling you, come down to mezzo forte, a medium loud at the end of the second line. That's the melody. That E in the right hand is melody. That's loud. So, so you're here, down. I want to hear that note. And then here. So this is softer. So I'm heavy in the left hand. And then so I just switch it all of a sudden. Now I'm heavy in the right hand. This is the last two measures of the third line. Here. Here. I want to hear that note. That's the melody. And then the right hand continues. And that. And at the end, that G that you're holding out, that's the melody note. This other stuff is just a chord. So I want to hear that note. Don't drown it out with these other notes. Hold it. That's the melody. That's what we want to hear. That's what's loud. This other stuff is down under it somewhere. Yeah, it's important. And it's good control. It takes time to gain the control, but I keep asking you, keep working at it. It comes if you'll just keep at it. The speed-wise, well, it depends on how much we've had to drink. It's a happy piece. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Because when it's at the beginning, the listener doesn't know where the beat is. It's up to you to tell them where the beginning of the measure is. It needs to sound like to hear. That needs to sound like a pickup note. Otherwise, they're going to think it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. They'll be off. It'll sound weird. So put in the natural accents of each of these measures. You get a fermata at the end, hang on to that a little while and recover and have a drink or whatever and then go on. Okay, let's play this very slowly together and check the notes and the rhythms. The fermatas, I'm going to double those values of those half notes. I'll hold those out 4 counts instead of 2. And so let's just note, I'm not doing any dynamics. I'm going to play it all about the same. It's just checking notes and rhythms here. Even one hand at a time if you need to at first. So I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Ready, go. Hold 2. 1, 2, hold 2, off.